This is one of the worst guitar marketing attempts I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot. This one is cringe, it's out of touch, and it's just unbelievable. And the sad part is, it's coming from one of my favorite guitar players of all time. So this is the guitar that we're talking about, and I'll talk about the specs in a second, but bear in mind that on Sweetwater right now, it's priced at $1,600 pre-order. And now let's see what the man of the hour has to say about it.
I'm absolutely going to play this tonight, considering it has my tuners that I play, my pickups, my bridge that I'm absolutely in love with. Because it's funny, because when I first walked in and played it, it says LTD up there. All right, okay. It's crazy though. It's crazy how like the level of the LTDs has come up over the years to where it's for the same price, you'll be a level up. It literally is like that. You need to give them the best absolute product you can for that, because you need to be inspiring to these young players to be able to get them. Or even to a touring musician or a gigging musician who doesn't have all the money in the world, and you gotta have a solid thing to play, and that's where the LTD shines. If you gave me a shitty guitar when I was 10 years old, I wouldn't be inspired to play, and I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Let's just pause there for a second. Aside from the fact that a gigging musician's guitar needs are entirely different from a 10-year-old hobbyist, so aside from that, the idea that a kid needs a $1,600 guitar to be inspired is ridiculous. Inspiration, that internal drive, if it's true, if it's real, comes irrespective of somebody having an expensive or a cheap electric guitar. If you need an expensive electric guitar to spend time with it, assuming that the cheaper one that you've got is not anatomically hurting you, is sounding okay, like you play it, it makes a sound. There's no faulty pickups, there's no sharp edges on the thing that will scar you, things of that nature, right? So if those checkboxes are ticked, even if it's a cheap guitar and you're motivated, you keep playing. Let me tell you guys a story, and I haven't told the story online, I think, before. So I've got my first electric guitar when I was 15, I think. It was a $300 Yamaha model. I grew up in a very toxic family. So my father is an alcoholic, a macho alcoholic. He, beat the living crap out of us for whatever reason on a pretty regular basis. And I remember, I begged my parents for a while before I was able to have that guitar, before they bought it for me. And the reason I couldn't buy it for myself is because they never let me go out and work. I was not allowed to work. I was not allowed to go anywhere. So I had to ask them for the money to buy it. I played the heck out of that guitar so much that my parents would get annoyed of me playing that much. They would just get annoyed. And there will be other excuses coming in. Oh, you're not studying enough, or you're whatever not. And my grades were never bad. A lot of the times I'm playing, and then I'd get the living crap beaten out of me for whatever reason. That's what my environment was. When I left home at the age of 17, 18 to live with my grandmother, I took that guitar with me, and I still played it. I moved to Australia a year after. And the first guitar I bought was a $400 ESP LTD guitar, which about a year after I had to sell because I didn't have any money. And then the next guitar I bought 2-3 years after, because again, I couldn't afford it. I was on my own then. Now, it was a $150 secondhand Samick Strat guitar. It was a secondhand guitar, came with a crappy amp, and 2 out of the 3 pickups were faulty. They weren't working, right? And I played that $150 guitar until the last pickup stopped working. By the time that third pickup broke, I got a corporate job, I started to get paid properly, and I bought some normal, good guitars that are mid-level guitars that are sitting back there. I told you the story to say this. If you're motivated to play the guitar, that, having a $400 guitar versus a $1,600 guitar versus a $10,000 guitar won't make that much of a difference. And if you're not motivated, I can give you a $50,000 electric guitar that thing will turn into an expensive room decor within weeks.
If you gave me a shitty guitar when I was 10 years old, I wouldn't be inspired to play and I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I want to be the person to help
This makes me angry.
to play the guitar for the rest of your life. 5 years from now, you've moved on greener pastures, but you have music is in your life for the rest of your life. And you've got that. And that's where it started. It all starts somewhere. It's incredible. To be able to get that for that price is ridiculous.
Okay.
And nobody else is doing that. So like total respect, because that shit means a lot to me, really.
So he just said that, oh, you know, you get this guitar, you play with it, 5 years later, the guitar and the music and everything else is going to be still with you. Let me ask a question. How long has Mick Thomson stayed with his sponsored guitar, amp, and pickup companies since he started? Because he's been with BC Rich, he had that Warlock model, then he was with Ibanez, then he was with Jackson, and then now he's with ESP.
It's tone, it's feel, it's kind of everything. It's size.
It's size? Isn't that guitar made similar to all the other similar LTD models, like with the size?
Or you're playing something that's fun and it works, or it's fully professional and you can take it in and record a damn record with the thing if you wanted to, because it's at that level. You know, you're not dinking around with little toys.
That's right.
You know, you're getting serious pieces for a real reason. You know, not for looks, not for anything, but it's to achieve a goal.
Look at that. Here, let me move myself so you guys can see it too. That, my friends, is an ESP to Japan-made Arrow model. We're trying to sell an LTD Strat-shaped look, like a Horizon-shaped look, kind of an electric guitar. But let's just put an E2 Japan-made Arrow guitar there. Just chuck it in there as well, because we don't have enough footage of Mick actually playing the guitar that he's trying to sell. This is so bad. What a bad video. They're showing everything but that guitar now. Check this out. Go back.
For anything, but it's to achieve a goal.
This is the Arrow. This is the Eclipse, and it's still ESP. It's not LTD. It's an ESP. See that? Yep, it's an Eclipse model. And then here we have a Horizon, which is also ESP. It's not an LTD. And then we have all of the ESP stuff that Mick actually plays on this stage and in studio. ESP. Look at all the guitar that Mick actually plays.
Unfortunately, when I finally did have a fling with ESP, I found that this stuff was just a million times better than what I was used to, and ESP's putting out a better guitar, and I couldn't believe that.
Alrighty, let's check out the specs. What do we have here? The neck is set through or neck through, which is fantastic because it helps with the sustain of the guitar. I love neck through guitars. Scale is 25.5, which is, if we're talking about low tuning and Slipknot goes to, you know, drop A or drop G, I was expecting this to probably be about 26 inches. So 25.5 is pretty standard. Body is mahogany that he was talking about. He talked about lighter mahogany, and the reason he said it is because there are different types of mahogany, guys. The one true mahogany is the Cuban mahogany, which is an endangered species. So there are a whole bunch of other mahoganies that are not even from the same genome. Like genetically, those trees don't belong to the same family, but they have the same tonal characteristics, and that's why they're also called mahogany. So when he says lighter mahogany, that's what he's talking about. Top is white ash. So white ash, again, if you're a believer in tone wood, contributes to slightly higher high-end frequencies, which he kind of talked about. Neck is a 3-piece maple neck. Gototh locking is the strap button, but the tuners are hip shot grip lock open, which again, I've never used these tuners before, by the way. The most interesting feature of the guitar to me is probably the Fishman Fluence pickups that Mick also moved to from Seymour Duncan that he used to be with. So these are Fishman Fluence Mick Thomson signatures. So they have 3 voices, and you get to each voice by either toggling or pulling the volume knob. So you have the push and pulley volume knob there, and then you have the toggle switch. There's no tone. It is set for a 1046 D'Addario XL, and it comes with a case. It's a pretty good guitar, and when you listen to Mick Thomson's sound, you kind of know what you're getting out of that guitar, which is fantastic. If you're a metal player, this is a fantastic guitar. $1,600, I think it's reasonable for this guitar. So again, I'm a massive fan of Mick Thomson. Mick Thomson, I think, is one of the most underrated electric guitar players, and he's very famous. A lot of people know him, a lot of people love him. I think he's technically underrated. Not many people know how good he actually is technically. So that said, the guitar is a great guitar for a metal player. It's a fantastic guitar. Again, no questions about that. But what a bad marketing attempt. I don't know whether a marketing person gave him a script and says, okay, just, make it your own and say it your way, and resulted him to say that. But man, wouldn't that be just better if you just tell people what you love about the guitar and how it inspired you, as opposed to, a 10-year-old kid needs a great guitar to be able to stay inspired to play. Let's just authentically, genuinely say what you love about the guitar that you made. You sat down with those guys. You're the person that specified these specs. Just say that. Say how much you love it. Say how much it makes you feel better. Say how much how great the features are, and just leave it at that, man. Quit with the great guitar player, great guitar, crappy marketing attempt.